Okay, wonderful. If anybody is here for the very first time, please just say hi. I'm brand new, so we can officially welcome you. As you know, some of you know that's been during the anchoring light all these years, from whatever time you popped in the 18 years, every week we've been doing it. That we always have a chat before, always address for those who are maybe new for the very first time, honoring the fact that they've made a choice to share their beautiful light. So that's always good. Hi, Julie. Well, welcome. This is wonderful. So nice that you're here, Julie. Thank you so much for sharing your light. Your name does didn't look familiar, and that's why I said that. Everybody else here, I think, I've seen before, and of course, there'll be more people coming on as time goes on. Okay, so a couple of things that I wanted to say. Well, first of all, welcome again, Julie. A little background about the anchoring light. Have been doing this for, I can't even believe this number, 18 years. 18 years. So going on 18 years. Actually, the very first anchoring light was July 16th, 2007, which was interesting because there's a lot of sevens in that number. And it was a divine directive. And what I want to share with everybody is, sometimes you have a sense or a feeling or really a strong impression saying, I feel I should do something. And even if you don't understand it completely, the idea is to follow that soul pulse, follow that higher part of yourself that's trying to get your attention. And little did I know at the time where I had like, well, I don't know what I'm doing. And, what is it all about anyway? And, what I was told is that you can't understand everything. There's just no way you could do it. But that's where the faith comes in. That's the faith comes in to say, this is something positive, loving, good. It is promoting unconditional love, the compassionate heart. You just know. And even if you don't know everything, to take one step at a time. And I will tell you what Melchizedek impressed upon me many, many years ago, just saying, breathe and put one foot in front of the other. And really, that is a recommendation to where you surrender. Okay, you don't think what's going to happen a week from now, a year from now. Of course, you have like a guidance as to a direction you may want to go. But as far as the details are concerned, the universe handles all of that. And that is really something to for us to contemplate. I can tell you from my own journey, it is so much easier. There's a point where all of us, and most certainly I myself, going into the world and the world of having to work and and live in this particular life, setting goals and timelines and checking them off, and all very good. That's the level of intelligence we need that to survive. However, there comes a point or there's a part in your life that integrates that along with the surrendering part. Okay, the surrendering part is really handing over this higher part of yourself that maybe you get bits and pieces of it. You may not fully understand it, or for some, they do understand. They make a choice to say, I'm following that aspect of it. The idea is that you move forward in your path, you move forward on your path of light. And as you do, things begin to unfold and things begin to become more clear. That's the journey. And a lot of times to begin that journey requires the whole faith to move forward in that. So the anchoring light, even though I wasn't sure what it was all about, I felt very strong that there's something to do. And then people showed up. I was like, oh my goodness, people came. And then I went back the next week and people came again. And I was amazed. I was like, wow, okay. And then finally it dawns on me that there's a real energy that's being transmitted, being anchored. It took a while for me to kind of say, I think this is what's going on. Because the reason why the anchoring light has continued all these years is because people have kept coming. And then finally, I connected some dots and realized, and I speak about it all the time, we're part of the spiritual hierarchy. We are the boots on the ground. The higher spiritual realms of light, we need them, but they need us too. Because we're the ones, and most of us that are here, we're old souls. We've been doing this a while. In fact, there's many of us who've gone through the ascension process in the past. We made a choice to come here to assist and to help this life form, this beautiful planet, and all of her life to make the ascension and to help with that. So, but the idea is that when we choose to come here, which is why on the higher realms and so many sentient beings are very um, impressed, and maybe that's a good word, that we say, yeah, we'll come into the world of Maya, world really of the false matrix, if you will, and have our memories wiped out. That's the first part. Like, oh my gosh, first you got to figure that out. Then finally, if you even move in a direction, you're like, okay, I think I got this, but step by step. And many of us old souls, to really anchor and get into this planet required many, many lifetimes. For some, there's a few, the walk-in ones, they just come in brand new, so there's a lot of different categories, if you will. But for the most part, we're all light workers and we are called to do this important work, which is we are in the embodiment. And I talk about it all the time because I was impressed with this, of how there's a level of great love, admiration, and support for the children of light upon the earth. I don't have to tell you to walk on this earth and to be your authentic self and to move in a compassionate heart and unconditional love. You may find yourself very much in the minority of all of that. You may find yourself where a lot of people think you're crazy, okay, because you're not part of the herd mentality. You're like, no, I'm vibing to something else. And a lot of times it takes great courage, to move into that direction. But when you do, you begin to meet others like you. And you're like, oh my God, I'm not by myself. There are others that know what I'm talking about. And more that is happening, more generations that are coming in that have in the past, there were those that paved the way, and it's sort of like a build up, build up, build up. But even to this day, we're 1% of the population, hopefully 2 or 3%. But you don't need to have a gazillion. You just need to have a tipping point, if you will, where there is enough. Okay, consciousness of light workers, those that are awakening, those that are already awakened, okay, those that are holding the space for people to, for those souls to come in to be awakened from when they arrive, all those variations. The idea is that we're working together as one divine collective to raise the consciousness of this sacred planet and her life. That's our assignment, and we do this in many different ways. So each person who is, and I always say, no one can take your place. You are unique. You have your own particular way of how you are to contribute to the divine collective and to the ascension, which is why, as much as you can, you really begin to walk your path of light, become real secure in that, become what I say, sort of soul driven. Like, I feel this is important in my life, that this is important to happen. So there has been, at least in my experience, when I was 2 and a half, I had like cosmic consciousness, and that's what put me on my path, always trying to say, there's something going on beyond this 3D. Also, the fact was that I've always thought that I had a mission. There was something very important to be done, as most of us do. Whatever time that comes into your life, something puts you on this path of light, because there's an important uh, something to be accomplished. And to my surprise, I thought everybody was on a mission. And then I come to find out, like, no. I'm like, really? Don't you feel that you're here to do something real? There's some people that have a sense of purpose, but that driving force of a mission that's important, there's something for me to do. You know, uh, Not everybody has that because there's layers and layers. Okay. And this life is also a schoolroom to learn. Okay. And so it is not just one thing, it's multiple things. And then you get beyond that, you're like, wow, there's so many different versions of ourselves. There's parallel lives, there's past lives, there's, future lives, all is one. I mean, it can really go into this very complex thing, but the idea is that we are present here in this moment, anchoring the higher parts of ourself, connected to the higher celestial realms of light, even as we are anchored in these earth bodysuits. And as I have been told, and we have talked about it at this anchoring light, that there is a tremendous respect that for those souls that could come into a physical 3D density and go for the ascension of this planet, to grab onto that divine part of themselves, which is a tremendous alchemy, to come from a 3D, okay, and be able to move through that and bring a quantum into the golden age, a quantum into the ascension process. So there's a lot of complexity to it, but just simply know that we play an extremely important role as the embodiment in a physical form to assist in the ascension of this planet. So just as much as we look for our Amishadai, the family of light, so also do we look for, they look for us to make that resonant field connection so we can work on this as a collective. Now, there is something here that I'm going to have to do. I'm going to ask for you to bear with me. Okay, and let me, because the anchoring light prayers, um, I did not bring those, but we are going to say them because they are on the website. So I'm going to look for that. If you could give me just a moment.